Hello my friend, this is Nick from Prestman Auto. I thought I'd take you a quick video of the F-350 we're looking at. Just kind of check it out as if we were in person. So what I'm going to do is we're going to walk all the way around. We're going to look for any dents, any scratches, any kind of blemishes on the outside. Then we'll go inside, go over some of the features, make sure everything's working properly. And then finally we're going to take a quick peek under the hood just for like good measure. So first impressions, it is a little dirty. So thanks Utah weather for that. That's awesome. But that being said, normally you'd expect to see a little bit of rock chipping up here in the front, just because that's where it usually is. That being said, I'm really not seeing a whole lot of any. I got one small one right in there. I don't even know if you can see that, but very, very small, and that's about the extent of what I see at the moment. So looking really, really good. But let's start going around, see if there's anything that we can find. So one good thing to note on the rebuilt titles, when they do rebuild it, you want to make sure that the seams all line up correctly. It's not like a really that big of a deal, like it doesn't really change anything, but it's just kind of nice to show workmanship, you know, see that they care about what they're doing. And in this case, it looks awesome, so very, very nice. Tires on here are in great condition. You got loads of life left in those, so that's always nice. Love that too. But let's keep going around, see if there's anything that we can find. Looks like you have a couple small scratches right in here. So you got a little bit right in there. There you go. As well as some small ones right here. So nothing really catching my finger, so really not that big of a deal. It's not going to be causing any paint chips or anything. But nonetheless, you know, it's good to know all the same. So my voice is kind of dying. I think I told you, so forgive me if I'm sounding like a scratchy freaking radio host or whatever. But let's keep it moving. You have a very small something right up in there. So I'm just popping the trunk with the key fob here. You do have the dampened tailgate as well as the bed liner and a couple plugs and whatnot. So good stuff there. Looks like you can have a fifth wheel if you feel so inclined. I don't know if you'll be doing that with what you're planning on using it for, but if you care, there you go. It is cold, my friend. It is very cold. All right. Well, honestly, actually, let's check the seams on this side real quick. Also looking solid. So good stuff. So as far as the exterior goes, I give it probably a 9.5 out of 10. It looks really, really nice, to be totally honest with you. Before we hop in, here's a quick look around some of our lot. So we're kind of at the edge of it right now. But we go all the way down past that building, way down there. We go, I don't know, like maybe a quarter mile down from past the building. But we sell more cars here, like I said. We sell more cars than any independent dealer in the state. We've been around for 33 years, which you don't have to know that, right? Like, that's not that important. But I feel like it's nice to know a little bit about who you're working with, especially when it's out of state, you know? Anyway. Whew. That is much better. All right, let's turn her on. Perfect. We got the cold start, so that's always good. All right. So we got one warning light up right now, which is a seatbelt light, which is, you know, correct. I'm not wearing my seatbelt. But other than that, everything up here looks super solid. Let's cycle through a couple things real quick, just for good measure. Status and information. Don't care about seatbelts, engine hours. Okay, washer fluid's low, fair enough. That's a pretty easy fix. All right, oil life, engine hours. Okay, let's keep it moving. Navigation, phone, vehicle maintenance, dev information, blah, blah, blah. Cool. So there's kind of the lowdown and all that. I always find it good to know, you know, just double check everything. But as far as interior features go, you have a lot of them. So I'm going to go a little bit fast just for the sake of time. So this video isn't like 40 minutes long. But starting off up here, you're going to have your cruise control, always fun. You have all the stuff for your side mirrors. You can extend them and whatever. And then obviously, you know, windows roll down and you can fold them in and whatever. So pretty straightforward there. Up here, you're going to have your towing mode as well as your four-wheel drive. On this one, it looks like you can lock your rear diff. So in case that ever comes up. Heated seats, which I am a sucker for. I really like heated seats. So good to go there. Up here, also going to have your camera system. You have the 360-degree camera up there, which is really nice. You're also going to have you can sync your navigation, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, valet mode, and on and on. Like, there is no shortage of fun things here to play with. So, downhill mode and a couple of things up there. Up top here, you can drop your back window. That's pretty cool. And then some plugins and on and on and on. So as far as interior condition goes, it's honestly really freaking good. I'm not seeing any rips, any dents, any tears, any stains, any discoloration. Really anything. It looks really nice. So back seat, same story. Very, very well taken care of. So we can go over features all day, but for the sake of time, let's call that there. Let's pop the hood in the engine bay. We'll check that out real quick, and then that should be good for our video. Oh, nice. You got the B&O stereo system on here. That's pretty sweet. We'll have to test that out later. All right, so I don't know how mechanically inclined you are or aren't, but regardless of how much you know about cars, I always encourage everyone to at least look under the hood. The reason being, even if you don't know anything that's under here, you at least know what neglect looks like. So acid buildup around the battery, rust in any of the metal pieces, you know, cobwebs, and just general signs of people not caring about it. It's just good to double check, you know? So in the case of this one, we're gonna double check a couple extra things because we know there was an accident up here in the front. So the first thing I want to note is the dimensions of this. So obviously it was hit pretty hard right up in there. We're not even gonna pretend like it wasn't. It was definitely hit hard. But the good thing about how they build trucks is they build the front here. They used to do it all just steel, but then the steel would crunch in and hit everything. Now they have what they call a crunch zone. So they have a lot of plastic and some metal pieces, but instead of just one pipe there that just gets hit into everything, all this stuff is meant to crunch in to avoid hitting any of the important pieces. So if you take note here, it's about, what's that, like 2.5 feet of space before you get to any of this actual important stuff in here. So just kind of helpful to know. Sometimes the damage can look a little bit crazier than it is in terms of repairs that need to be done, but regardless of how crazy it was or wasn't, everything here is looking fantastic. Very, very well taken care of, really no complaints, and we'll have your third-party guy give it a once-over, give it his old 1-2 mechanic look as well. More than happy to have him take a peek. So if you are mechanically inclined, we can go into a little bit more detail about some of the stuff in here, but we'll keep this video pretty user-friendly for now. Suffice to say, when you pop the hood of an engine bay, this is exactly what you want to see. So if you have any questions about anything else, or there's something that I missed that you'd like to see, just let me know. I'm happy to show you anything on here. But for now, this is your new truck.